Thank you so much for allowing us to share our presentation as a voice record, as a video record. So my name is Minatullah Hindawi. Me and Jimmy are going to be presenting our team, where we're working on the visualizing of socio-techniques of smart cities in Africa and Europe. So to start with, it's important to know that there are two smart city narratives that are currently in literature. One which is very much focusing on the digital perspective of data algorithms and computational science part. The other one is the analog perspective, which is focusing more on the politics, society, and organizations. And recently, the concept of smart region, a smart country, and smart society started to emerge. And at the same time, if we look at the literature on smart cities, we will find out that there is a movement that's happening starting 2013 against the very technical smart city narratives, or more the digital perspective, towards more what is called a smartness below. And so it's more a movement of towards socio-technical smart cities. If we look at the strategies, we just search the name of the city, smart city strategy, we'll find many strategies for cities like Los Angeles, Dubai, Berlin, and more. And there are also many different smart city ranking systems which rank smart cities in relation to the world. Or for example, in Germany, there is this Bitkom ranking, which for example, puts Hamburg as the top ranked smart city. In this research, we focus on the work of the ranking by IMD and Singapore University, which was started their work in 2017 and released their very first version of the index in 2019. And they try to map both the economic and technical elements, but also the human features like quality of life and environmental inclusion. So back again to the socio-technical part, and that's why we selected this ranking to work with our data set. So when we look at the data by IMD, we'll find that they have different European cities ranked in the index, and also different African cities ranked in the index. We'll notice that most of them cities in the top 10 were in Europe, and most of those in the least 10 were in Africa, as per our findings in another project. So our objective in this research is to think about, will visualizing correlations in a non-traditional way help in gaining deeper insight on this very same data set? So when we visualize the data using statistical methods and a video and a table Excel sheet.
Visualization we used includes correlation graphs and performance graph. For correlation graphs, nodes represent indicators and edges represent correlations. So a wider edge means a higher correlation values. For performance graph, nodes represent cities and indicators, edges represent performance value. Similarly, a wider edges means a higher performance value. So we will introduce interactions in both graphs at last. The tool we use called Inspect, which is an interactive visualization tool for analyzing players based on their sequences of actions. So the correlation graph can give us an intuitive impression between indicators without forcing us to focus on the numbers in the table. When we set the correlation value between 0.9 and 1, we can find 4 clusters here, which can give us further research opportunities. When we select these 4 indicators, we have the visualization like this. In this visualization, the solid line represents the positive correlation, and the dashed line represents the negative correlation. So from this visualization, we can see that unemployment have a higher correlated to fulfilling employment than it correlated to affordable housing. Then we compare African cities and European cities. So we choose 4 cities from each region, and we compare 3 categories, include attitude, governance structure, and governance technologies. So this is a performance graph for European cities and African cities in attitude category. We can see that they are similar to each other. The only difference is this indicator, you are comfortable with face recognition technologies to lower crime. Africa cities seems a little bit higher than European cities. For the governance structure categories, European cities are different from African cities. We can see that the top 2 cities in Europe have a higher value than the top 2 cities in Africa. For the governance technology categories, they are also similar. All of the cities in both regions have a higher value for the indicator. Processing identification documents online has reduced waiting time than other indicators. So our next step is looking forward to use a correlation graph to help in further analysis and see how it compares to the traditional approach. And this is a video to show the interaction. We can set the value of correlations. In the visualization, we can drag the node around, and we can zoom in and zoom out to inspect the visualization. We can also select indicators to visualize. And for performance graph, we can choose cities in the region, and we can also choose categories and indicators in the categories. And this side-by-side layout allows us to compare these two visualizations more intuitively. And that's it. Thank you.